In the early hours of September 19, 1976, the skies over Tehran, Iran, played host to a baffling encounter that continues to intrigue and mystify researchers, skeptics, and UFO enthusiasts alike. This event, involving two Imperial Iranian Air Force F-4 Phantom II jet interceptors, would become one of the most compelling UFO cases of the 20th century, meticulously documented in a U.S. government teletype message and later obtained through the Freedom of Information Act. What makes the Tehran UFO incident stand out isn't just the dramatic nature of events, but also the high-level attention it received from military and intelligence officials around the globe. It began with 4 civilians in Tehran's Shemiran area reporting a bright, unusual object in the sky. Their descriptions varied. Some likened it to a bird-like object, while others described a helicopter with a glowing light. Mehrabad Tower Air Traffic Control dismissed these sightings as stars, but the reports piqued the curiosity of a controller who decided to look for himself. What he saw defied easy explanation, a bright object larger and more brilliant than a star. At 12:30 a.m., the decision was made to scramble an F-4 Phantom II jet from Shahrokhi Air Base. Lieutenant Yadi Nezari and his weapons officer were tasked with investigating the phenomena. As they approached the object, the brilliance of its lights became evident from 70 nautical miles away. However, as the jet closed to within 25 nautical miles, all instruments and communications, both UHF and intercom, suddenly failed. It wasn't until the aircraft turned away from the object that the systems came back online. The team returned to base, shaken but unharmed. A second F-4, piloted by Major Parviz Jafari and accompanied by First Lieutenant Jalal Damirian as weapons officer, was dispatched at 1:40 a.m. Jafari, a squadron commander with a reputation for precision, acquired radar lock on the object at 27 nautical miles. The object, flashing alternating blue, green, red, and orange lights in a sequence so rapid that all colors appeared simultaneously, was described as intensely brilliant. Its radar signature was comparable to that of a Boeing KC-135 Stratotanker. As Jafari's jet closed in, the object began to move. It appeared to evade capture, maintaining a steady distance of 25 nautical miles despite the F-4's approach. Then, without warning, a smaller, brightly lit object separated from the primary craft. This new object, described as being half to one-third the size of the moon, raced towards Jafari's jet at high speed. In response, Jafari attempted to fire AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles, but as he prepared to engage, his weapons control systems and communications failed simultaneously. Suddenly, nothing was working, Jafari later recounted. The weapons control panel was out and I lost all the instruments and the radio. Forced to evade, he initiated a sharp turn and a negative G dive. The smaller object, undeterred, followed closely behind before returning to the primary UFO in a seamless rejoin. The encounter didn't end there. Shortly after the second object returned to the main craft, another smaller object emerged. This one, however, descended rapidly towards the ground. Jafari and Damirian watched intently, expecting an explosion. Instead, the object slowed and landed gently, illuminating an area of 2 to 3 kilometers with an intense bright light. Marking the location, Jafari's crew attempted to descend 15,000 feet to observe further, but persistent interference with their night vision equipment made it challenging. Eventually, the F-4 returned to base, its crew rattled but unharmed. The next day, Jafari and Damirian, now accompanied by a helicopter crew, returned to the area where the object had supposedly landed. They found no physical evidence of a crash or landing. However, as they scouted the surroundings, they detected a beeping signal coming from a nearby location. The signal was traced to a small house with a garden where residents reported hearing a loud noise and witnessing a flash of light during the night. Further investigations of the aircraft and the area revealed no definitive clues, but left an enduring sense of mystery. The Tehran UFO incident was not ignored by the global military and intelligence community. A detailed teletype message relayed the events to high-ranking officials, including the Secretary of State, the Central Intelligence Agency, the White House, and the Air Force and Army Chiefs of Staff. This document, later obtained by UFO researcher Charles Huffer, highlights the gravity with which the incident was treated. The report meticulously described the UFO's lights, which alternated in colors forbidden under both Federal Aviation Administration regulations and the International Civil Aviation Organization standards. The use of blue lights in particular is illegal on aircraft, adding an additional layer of intrigue to the craft's unorthodox appearance. Skeptics noted that witnesses might have misinterpreted the green lights as blue due to the intensity and rapid sequencing of the strobe effect. Despite the extraordinary nature of the encounter, skeptics have proposed more grounded explanations. Philip J. Klass, a noted UFO debunker, attributed the sightings to celestial misidentifications, equipment malfunctions, and psychological factors. Klass noted that the initial F-4 Phantom had a history of electrical failures, having been recently repaired for similar issues. He also suggested that the radar anomalies could have resulted from the jet's radar being set to manual track mode, leading to misinterpretation. Brian Dunning, another skeptic, pointed out that the date of the incident coincided with the peak of two annual meteor showers, the Gamma Piscids and the Southern Piscids, as well as the tail end of the Eta Draconids. These celestial events could explain reports of falling lights and bright objects. Dunning also highlighted that a beeping signal found near the alleged landing site could have originated from a transponder lost by a C-141 aircraft. While skeptics' arguments provide plausible explanation for parts of the incident, they fail to fully account for the breadth of reported phenomena. The simultaneous failure of weapons and communication systems, the apparent intelligent behavior of the UFO and its smaller objects, and the detailed radar lock-on data make this case difficult to dismiss outright. For Major Parviz Jafari, who later rose to prominence as a witness in UFO conferences, the experience was life-changing. His testimony remains consistent. This was not a hallucination or something imaginary. It was a very real and significant encounter. The Tehran UFO incident has since been featured in documentaries, books, and television programs, including the popular series Sightings. It has earned a place in the annals of UFO lore, ranking among the top 10 UFO sightings in lists by the Daily Telegraph and The Guardian. Even today, nearly 5 decades later, the Tehran UFO incident remains shrouded in mystery. Was it an extraterrestrial craft, a top-secret military experiment, or a confluence of natural phenomena and human error? The answers remain elusive, locked away in classified files and the memories of those who were there. Yet for those who witnessed the events firsthand, the incident is a vivid reminder about how much we have yet to understand about our skies and perhaps about our place in the universe.